Atari was a pioneer in the gaming industry and one of the most successful gaming brands in history. It is best known for its groundbreaking games such as Pong, Asteroids, and Missile Command. The company's success can be attributed to its ability to create innovative video games, as well as its decision to aggressively expand into the home console market. Atari revolutionized the industry by making video games available at affordable prices, which attracted a myriad of customers who had not been able to enjoy this new form of entertainment before. The Atari 2600 was the first successful video game console of the second generation of video games. The console was released on September 11, 1977, and created a new interactive entertainment industry. It has earned over $3 billion in revenue before it was discontinued on January 1, 1992. This console has created some of the most popular games to this day, which are ranked on this list of top 10 Atari games. This list of the top 10 Atari games of all time is a ranking of arcade games and home console games, based on their popularity and impact on the video game industry. This list of the top 10 Atari games of all time is a ranking of arcade games and home console games, based on their popularity and impact on the video game industry. 1. Pong. Atari was one of the early pioneers in the video game industry. They are responsible for many of the most iconic, classic games that are still played today, including Pong. Asteroids. Asteroids is an arcade game developed and published by Atari, Inc. It's one of the first video games to use a moving image of a player's spaceship as the game's avatar. The player controls the ship with buttons and fires asteroids at other objects on the screen, such as flying saucers. 3. Missile Command was a launch title for the Atari 2600. And one of the first games ever to use a trackball controller. Breakout. Nolan Bushnell offered Steve Jobs a monetary bonus if he could build the game with less than 50 chips. Inspired by this, Jobs and Steve Wozniak went on to deliver a product that was made up of 42 chips. This was unusual for programmers that couldn't figure out how to reproduce the game with so few parts. Centipede. Centipede is a popular arcade game developed by Atari. The game is composed of 100 levels of play, the goal being to defeat all the centipedes that are advancing towards the bottom of the screen. Side-scrolling shooter games were getting more and more popular during that time period, but Centipede added an extra level of challenge by adding obstacles called mushrooms and spiders. Adventure, a top 10 Atari games of all time. It was one of the first games to use a simple interface and is well known for its Easter eggs and the hidden room containing the game maker's initials. Space Invaders is one of the top 10 Atari games of all time. It was created by Tomohiro Nishikado and was the first game to spawn waves of imitators. The game has been remade many times over the years, most notably for the Atari 2600 and later on PC, Macs, and even cell phones. Donkey Kong is a classic video game created by Nintendo. The game was so popular that it was quickly ported to the Atari console, which surpassed sales of the original Nintendo arcade machine. Donkey Kong's success led to the release of other NES versions, as well as remakes for PC and other consoles. Pac-Man was released by Namco. It was one of the first successful video games, selling over 100,000 arcade machines worldwide. The game has been ported to nearly every home console since release, and has also spawned multiple sequels and spin-offs. River Raid is one of the most iconic games. It was released by Activision and was credited with popularizing side-scrolling shooters. The game is set on a scrolling map that represents a river, where the player can fly an aircraft over various terrain, shoot enemy vehicles and targets on the ground, and fly through tunnels to avoid enemy fire. So that is it for this list. If you would like to see more of the best in video games history, please subscribe and hit the like button below. Thanks for watching.